Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast for our first proper podcast of the new season, and it's a positive one. We won our opening game. I don't know what else I can ask for compared to last year. I'm getting used to this positive podcast. I'll say that. But as you can see, I'm joined by Andrew and Steve. How are you doing, guys?
Very well, thank you.
Pretty good.
Nice to see you, Steve. To see you, nice.
See it, yeah. In the bar with no aircon, so, I'm giving up a lot to be out here today.
Yeah, well, if you hear my fan just gently whirring in the background, I've got it on me at the moment because it's so bloody warm. So apologies for that if you can hear it in the background, but I ain't turning it off.
Oh, the purpose.
Mine's bigger than that.
That ain't it. Crocodile Dundee, that ain't a fan. This is a fan.
Younger generation haven't got a clue what I'm on about.
There was a picture on somewhere. A guy took a fan on the tube and plugged it into one of the sockets on the side. He had a stand-up fan. Well, that's pretty cool. Walking around with that in your hand. But,
pretty inconvenient, but yeah, I can get his logic.
Yeah, hi to everyone in the chat as well. We've got Ty, we've got Gary, we've got Steve, and we've got Richard in the chat as well. So far, obviously, do like, share, and subscribe as well. It doesn't help the channel out a lot, and obviously, more the regulars back in as well for the live itself. But yeah, we'll start off, guys. We won. We actually won opening night. We upset the broadcasters.
And United lost, which is even better.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
I was saying last night on the group chats, new managers, new season, same old crap. I'm loving it. I'm sorry, I'm
keep
loving
buying rubbish players, don't you? You can't play with a 5 centre back, can you?
Look who they bought today. Someone we all linked with 10 years ago. Rabiot.
I know. I just said I put a tweet on Twitter. I put out of the from you go from Pogba to Rabiot. And I just put and I put an emoji of a frying pan into the fire. Like it's ridiculous, you get rid of one, not troublemaker as such, but one player that you desperately, whose brain wasn't there, and wanted to be out of there all the time to go to another one. It's just ridiculous, unbelievable.
No process. That's what they're missing. They're missing a process. And
they're linked to Arnautovic as well. 33-year-old Arnautovic, who was like shit at Stoke.
At West Ham as well.
Unbelievable.
Actually upset West Ham fans because he was all right at West Ham, but obviously the way he left a bit of taste in their mouth because he went there, hit the ground running, became the main man, and he's got his ego again went through the roof. But he calls both players, who just mentioned there, will cause more aggro than easing the tension, so we say. I think Ronaldo's bad. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Was it Rabiot? Not only is he known for causing trouble, but his mum, who is his agent, isn't exactly a shy person, so we say.
And I almost got more joy out of that United game than I did out of the Arsenal game, to be honest with you. Yeah. It was hilarious.
As I said last night in one of the group chats, after years of being berated by them, the mighty Giants falling, I'm enjoying this, and I don't care how long it lasts. I'm enjoying it because we've had to go through it ourselves, and they gave us shit for it. So fuck them.
The best thing about it for me is they're not showing any sign of improvement whatsoever. No. So it's like
I know
nobody they brought in has potentially improved their side.
That photo that was doing the rounds on Twitter and everything of the bench where Ronaldo was pulling that funny face and Eric Ten Hag was just looking totally forlorn, looking at the flights out back to Amsterdam on his phone. It's just hilarious.
I will say I do feel sorry for Ten Hag in the sense of he is a good manager. But this is the one job I was worried. When he took this job, I was worried about because I know we saw last season what the situation was. I knew, and probably everyone else knew, that he wasn't going to walk in and click his fingers and everything would be fantastic again. But United fans don't have that patience. 10 seconds in, right in attack, and United fans going from being joyful and happy to oh, here we go again. This
And-
is
Long old season when you lose the first game, innit? 2-1 at home, that's for sure.
And Donny van der Beek was on the bench again. I mean, what's he must be feeling with his old manager's come back to rescue him. He leaves him on the bench till the 80th minute or whatever it was. Again, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for Donny because literally, as you say, he's thinking, I left Ten Hag to come to United. I got fucked over, but he's coming now. My career's resurrected. He's on the bench still. How the hell has Scott McTominay and Fred started ahead of him?
Absolutely hilarious. But honestly, it's we've all seen it, and I've put it on Twitter myself. It must be utterly against the law to send off Scott McTominay. I mean, what the hell is that all about? Every single game that guy plays, he goes out to injure someone on purpose. He never gets sent off. It was just horrific. He could have broken that guy's ankle quite easily.
Well, especially when VAR can look at it as well. They come
Exactly.
They come to the same decision.
How did it come to that decision, the VAR? Oh, yeah, that's all right. Nah, stick with the yellow. No, honestly, it just blows my mind how incompetent they all are. It really does, every single game. And obviously, Brighton should have had a penalty to go 3-0 up, and instead they got a goal against them, which was handball.
In the build-up, yeah. Yep.
And the guy was offside in the build-up as well, Harry Maguire.
I think it's consistency, isn't it? I think it's consistency. I mean, we saw in our game when, Xhaka got the book in for the first misdemeanor in the game, and yet, same thing happened at our end, and no yellow card. I mean, you just think, well, what's the difference? But, certain players get bookings and certain players don't, obviously.
It's just one rule for Old Trafford and another rule for everywhere else, isn't it?
Yeah. So, so if that had been Xhaka in that situation, he'd have been straight off the pitch, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas as of last night, we're in the making T-shirts, merchandise saying if that was Xhaka.
Clean up.
Because anything that happens on social media, we see it on Twitter. Yeah. If that was Xhaka, that would be a red. Technically, it would have been a red yesterday, but yeah. Especially when he got booked for diving on Friday night, and then other people diving all over the place and got away with it. But we'll get into that. But yeah, to the comment in the chat, what was on the wrong channel. You haven't got lost. This is an Arsenal channel still. We're reveling. We are reveling and enjoying United's demise.
Hopefully, he meant that he was watching some other channel and he realised he was on the wrong one, and he's on the right one now.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Absolutely.
Mm.
No, we're just enjoying it because all the shit they gave us for years, we're just enjoying it.
If you can't,
let's be honest.
If you can't, rejoice in your ex-rivals' misery, then that's what half of football's about: supporting your own team and reveling in the other's misery, isn't it?
They rubbed their nose in it for many years, didn't they? So
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm enjoying it even more because they, as you said, they rubbed it in. They're high and mighty United. We're now on an upward turn, going in the right direction by the looks of it. Touch wood. And they're now where we were 10 years ago. And
and they're not doing anything about it either, which is even more funny.
Yeah, the owners ain't got a clue. Let's be honest. We thought the Cronkies. We have our thoughts on the Cronkies and all that, but Jesus Christ, the Glazers.
Well, the Cronkies hired the wrong people. We discussed this yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
But they corrected that decision within a year ago. Was it 2 years? About 2 years. They realised, which was too long for us as Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
But they've done the same thing at United, but they haven't corrected it at all.
Oh.
They just ran with, what was his name, Woodward, for how many years? 10 or more years?
9 years.
9 years, yeah.
It's 10 years. It's 10 years now this season since Ferguson left.
Yeah, and they've still got absolute crap working for them, and they don't seem to do anything about it. And so, although it seemed too long for us to wait 2 years to actually get the right people in, at least we've done that now, and we're on the right track. So I just want it to go on forever.
Sorry, talking of United, got a United fan, Cold Assassin, in the chat. It says Arsenal fans are enjoying themselves right now. Man United fans like myself are watching my club become a retirement home. Glazers have really thrown Ten Hag under the bus. Yeah, cool. Definitely. Yeah.
I honestly, what did I say straight away? As soon as he was appointed, it's the wrong manager at the wrong club. Because I really like Ten Hag. I just thought straight away, as soon as he signed that contract, that's career suicide for him, because it's just the completely wrong club for him at the moment, because of the way they run things and the way the way they go about their recruitment. It's just not the way that he has brought his success in the past. So I can only see it going one way, unfortunately.
All I can say is,
Assassin.
long may it continue.
Yeah, exactly. I hope it never changes now. Hope they're stuck in the butt for eternity now, bastards.
You know, Leeds United, they'll be in the 3rd division in a few years' time. That'll be fine.
Yeah,
we can only hope.
I still stand by. I'd rather have Leeds United in the Premier League than Burnley and Stoke. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
100%.
Oh dear. But yeah, let's obviously go back now to the. We've had our little 11 minutes of digging them out. We'll come back to that next week when they lose again next week against Brentford. But yeah, our game on Friday night. First, we said it all summer when the fixtures came out, and straight away as the fixtures came out, we said it last night as well on your channel, Andrew. The fact that the second the fixtures came out, they had already planned and organised the opening day fixtures, and we were the ones to lead the line on Friday night under the lights at Selhurst Park. You just knew they wanted to be the front row seat just in case we fell apart like we did last year. And the fact of over the weekend, Sky's general attitude towards Arsenal, the bitter taste, they didn't hide it. Let's put it that way. I was it Saturday morning on Sky News. They're going through all the Saturday or Sunday, sorry. Yesterday morning on Sky News, they're going through the roundup of the Premier League games and all that. And at the end, they go, "Oh, we've run out of time to talk about Arsenal." They don't usually win on opening day, do they? They're like really taking a dig at us. I'm like, and I've looked back, and I'm thinking back after that. Well, you're bitter and twisted for a start, but I look back, and apart from last year and opening day against Man City under Emery in his first season, we haven't lost an opening game apart from them 2 incidences in 10 years. We've either won a majority of them or drawn. So where they got that idea from is beyond me. But
I know. And what team was last on Match of the Day on Saturday?
I know. There's a cannon on the shirt. The irony is, the worst game of the weekend on Saturday was before us in fucking Chelsea Everton. Paint dry FC that was.
I'll tell you what, if I was a neutral fan and I had a choice and I paid to go and see City play West Ham, and then I paid to go and rather the other way around, paid to see Arsenal and then paid to see City, I know which game I would have much rather have watched. You know, City had 70% of the ball and only crossed the halfway line about half a dozen times. I mean, it's not how you want to play football. I mean, when we played, we were on it right from the get-go, weren't we? You know, we were going forward all the time.
Yeah,
and, that's how we dominated that game. I mean, obviously Palace had some good spells. I mean, I almost felt like I was watching Wimbledon at some point because the amount of long balls coming out the back to try and hit to the half. It was like that was their only method, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, but to be fair, they were long passes from that Joachim Andersen. I had to take my hat off.
Passes.
Honestly, I had to take my hat off to that guy because he was a devastating weapon that they've got.
Yeah. But they had a game plan. That was their game plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And on another day, that might have worked. But I thought, Saliba covering at the back. I mean, Jesus. I mean, if we'd have spent 70 million on him, you'd have thought that was cheap, wouldn't you?
Well, can I ask you this question? And you have to keep quiet for this one, Ryan, because I asked it you yesterday. That debut for Saliba reminded me of another big player in the Arsenal history. It reminded me of his debut. What sort of debut do you sort of think that I mean? Who do you think I mean when I say that? It reminded me of his debut.
Well, you're talking about age. Are you talking Tony Adams type area?
No, late 90s.
Go on.
Patrick Vieira. Do you remember when he made
his? I thought you meant a defender. I thought you meant defender. Sorry.
No. It's just the aura about the guy. Yeah, do you remember in Vieira's debut?
Yeah.
And he just reminded me of him. It was like a jaw drop moment, really, for his first Premier League start. I mean, we knew more about Saliba than we did about
I was going to
Vieira.
say, we didn't really know a lot about Vieira then.
But he just the way that he commanded that pitch really reminded me of that debut, because he was just unerringly good, wasn't he? You're just like nothing phased him.
Fair, I mean,
nothing got past him.
He's had a year in arguably a top league with Marseille. He's played for the national team now. He's got a fair amount of experience behind him now at that age, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's obviously good enough. And, you could say it was a masterstroke by Arteta to keep sending him out on loan to get him to where he needs him to be. He's almost like, not undroppable, but if you know what I mean, he's almost like he's one of the first names on the team sheet. Straight off the bat, isn't he?
I know. It's unbelievable, mate.
And if Tommy Asu was fit, Ben might be warming the bench, wouldn't he? Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I've gone past caring, to be honest with you, because I love Ben.
Either.
I've loved Ben White, but I just want the best for Arsenal now. And I think with the fact that we've got these quality players in defence, how many years has it been that we've got quality right across the back line? And good players
Ben
to come
White
in.
and
Brilliant.
Gabriel, now you've added Saliba to that mix as well. Jesus, I mean, what do you do? Play with a back three and 2 wing backs and go from there?
I just think it's great to have the depth. You need the depth. I mean, the only other equivalent side with regards to sort of depth, Man City and Liverpool really are the only ones that have got real good quality depth in defence, and I put us right up there with them at the moment because, I mean, Liverpool have got obviously Matip and Virgil van Dijk, and I keep forgetting the guy's name they bought from Germany. It's just always goes out my head. What's his name? Oh, Koyate. Not Koyate. Konate. That's it. Yeah, Konate. Yeah. I mean, they've got 3 absolute top quality centre backs, and they seem to keep them all happy. They seem to all get game time. We just have to think in the same sort of way, don't we? And think, well, we've got plenty of games to come up this season. They're all going to get plenty of minutes. So, because I think when, like you said, when Tommy Asu's fit, I put him back in because he's a better right back, sort of he's a purpose right back, isn't he? And ahead.
Well, as you said before, he's a
specialist,
a right back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a specialist there. So
the specialist fullback. So you'd want him in that position, and then you're going to let Tierney and Zinchenko fight for the left hand side, aren't you?
Well, I've said I'd put Tierney back in as well, and I would put Zinchenko in the role that Xhaka's got. Not that Xhaka's been bad by any stretch of imagination. I keep having to caveat it with that. I've given him lots of praise the last couple of seasons, but I just think that you can't drop. You can't drop him after that performance as well. His debut was absolutely fantastic, Zinchenko.
And he was playing a lot in midfield, wasn't he? Because when we had the ball, he was pushing into the centre rather than staying out wide on the left. So, so when you look at it and you still think we haven't seen Fabio play yet, and we've still got Smith Rowe to come back in, I mean, it already looks a lot better than it did last season. We had nobody on the bench.
It's just chalk and cheese. But I think
it's a different game, isn't it?
I just think that Zinchenko has got a lot to be desired in some cases when he's defending. He can be caught out a lot easier than Tierney can. I think everyone.
Tierney's a better defender, I'd have to say. Looking at it, I'd say Tierney was a better all-out defender.
I just think it'd be so strong having him at left back and Zinchenko just in front of him in the role that Xhaka's been filling. But anyway, the fact that we've got all these options is just brilliant. Now, I'm not going to complain about any of them really. But I just think that in certain games, especially, to have Tierney and Tommy Asu at the fullback positions would be, and obviously Saliba and Gabriel, or Saliba and Ben White even. Just a brilliant defence. So I think for some games that'll work. For other games, maybe we will have Ben White at the back and Zinchenko at the back. I don't know, but at least we've got all these good options now, which we didn't have before. Because last season, even we were still dropping Xhaka into left back at some parts of the season.
Well, we didn't have a backup left back there because obviously Tavares, bless him, he wasn't ready, was he? And he was sort of put in position, but he wasn't. He obviously wasn't ready to play in the Premier League at left back. So
great goal yesterday, by the way.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
You've got a player
really good goal.
Loan, and he's going to come back in a year's time, twice the player that he was, isn't he? So. And then he comes back in and so a bit like Saliba, really, isn't it? So you send him out alone, and you bring him back, and he's ready to go day one.
Yeah.
So we just I heard rumours that he's already signed a new contract, but I don't know if that's true or not. But got to get him signed up on a long-term deal soon as before he makes too big a name for himself.
After the World Cup, he's only going to have 18 months left. And can you imagine if they win the World Cup and he's a World Cup holder and he hasn't signed a new deal yet? He's one of the best defenders in Europe already after 6 months of playing Premier League football and winning the World Cup. We're going to be over the barrel, aren't we, with a broom handle behind us. So we've got to get that guy to sign a new contract by hook or by crook before the World Cup kicks off, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I think all that sort of stuff is in hand, isn't it? It's just a question of getting him to sign it. I don't think money will be an issue, will it? And if you can see there's going to be success on the horizon, then why not stay? But if somebody like really big clubs come in, I say big clubs, the Madrid, Barcelona's, Man City, those sort of people, he's going to be a target, isn't he? We've got to make sure that we've got him tied down. So even if he does get headhunted, we've got a decent enough contract to go for top money. If that becomes, a thing. But just enjoy the moment. At the moment, I'm looking forward to this weekend at home, and more of the same, please.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree. And with that regards to the Arsenal misfit there, I don't know about 4 players. I think our bench is still a hell of a lot stronger than it was. And
I think so.
I just think when we have got Smith Rowe and Tomiyasu back, I mean, even if Tomiyasu goes back into the team straight away, Ben White's going to drop to the bench as well. But we do need a couple more players, and those players are going to be, whoever they are going to either dislodge one of our current starters or go on the bench themselves. And they need to be starting quality players that we bring in, whether it's a centre forward, whether it's a wide forward, and whether it's a number 8 or number 6 or whatever. We still need another midfielder and another attacker. But I think with those 2 additions, I think we'll be sorted, personally. I do.
I think there'll be a couple more coming in, but it's difficult to say who that will be, isn't it? I think. I mean, obviously, Tielemans has been talked about since last season, but
since the dinosaurs are roaming the earth.
Well, I've heard so many people say that he's very close to agreeing a deal, and it should happen this week. And of course, it's all talk, isn't it? But
but we have got one player out now. We've just had it confirmed about 7 o'clock, haven't we, or so?
Yeah, Luca Torreira gone to Galatasaray for around 7 million.
Yeah.
Which is
so there's other players that need to go, isn't there? Niles, Bellerin, and Mari. There's still players to go, isn't there? But it's gone very quiet on incomings, from what I can see.
I think it's really purely down to getting players out, isn't it? I think that's what it's got to be.
I think it's more so. Yeah, get the players he doesn't want. If you can get them out, and then obviously focus on the last couple of signings he wants to bring in, because he has said we are working on a few other things to get in terms of incomings. Said that on Friday night on Sky, and one of them's been mentioned in the chat by Green. I'll get into his comment in a minute, but there's another comment here from Greeny. I'll put it back up on the screen. He says, "Things we have learnt this weekend: Arsenal are 2 players away from I'm assuming being competitive, have a strong enough unit as a whole squad wise to withstand and go that bit one step further than make what we did last year. Obviously, and not fall apart. Touchwood. They won the game, so don't get carried away. City will walk the league. Shocker there. Liverpool struggle. Spurs will finish in the top 4. Wash your mouth out, Greeny. Wash your mouth out. Chelsea are average. United finish 6th, if they're lucky. And the rest are still corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, the only thing I disagree with. Apart from Spurs.
Yeah.
No, I can never agree with Spurs.
Yeah, he also goes to say Tielemans and a winger. And we mentioned this before. Obviously, Tielemans in terms of centre midfield, he seems to be the predominant midfielder we're linked with in that position. So he wants out. He knows our interest.
Yeah, but that also brings you back to like Pepe and Reece Nelson, doesn't it? As stay or go. I mean, it's Pepe doesn't get into this side, does he? as it
Well, it
stands.
says it all. Friday night with that bench that we had. Sorry, we're interrupting. But that bench that we had on Friday night. Look at the subs we used. Pepe, Nelson didn't even get a look in. They weren't even considered by Mikel. What sort of message does
We didn't
that
use
send?
5 subs, did we? We only used two subs.
Tini on for Zinchenko, and then Eddie for Jesus.
And Sambi came on as well.
Sambi at the end for
Three
Odegaard,
then.
yeah.
3 then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love, Pepe as a player, and some of the stuff he does is amazing, but I just can't see him doing that on a week-to-week basis to keep other players out of the side. Just can't see it.
Yeah, well, we're looking at a Villarreal player, aren't we? Pino as well. Not Pino Grigio, Jeremy Pino. But he's a young, exciting winger as well.
There's a Diaby, is there a guy called Diaby as well?
Yeah, Moussa Diaby.
That today as well.
So we're going to start a trend now of signing old name players. Vieira, Diaby.
We started with the main
We
man.
didn't know is that Omri.
Yeah.
We'll pop over to Watford as well and get.
We tried for Martinez as well.
Yeah, so if we can't get another Gabriel, we'll have to go for.
That'll be enough.
The whole team of Gabriels will be amazing.
We'll pop over to Watford and get Mitchell Bergkamp.
Already got a shout over the fence. Wait, Mitchell. Come back. I know we let you go, but come back.
Saves on letters for the team shop doing shirts.
Yeah, and if you bought all the old classic shirts with their names on them, it saves your money.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Exactly. Give them the same number as well. It's even better.
Sorry, Emil, you lost number 10.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's good. It's all positive. I just love it. I think couldn't wait for the start of the season. After pre-season and the players that come in and see Jesus play. I mean, gee whiz.
Yeah.
I know he didn't score the weekend, but he was a whisker away, wasn't he? And he was so creative. He could
honestly,
get on the end of something, yeah.
He was magic, absolute magic. The way he set up that first chance on Martinelli that he mishit. I mean, wow! He took on 3 or 4 players easy in the box. It's just, He was thinking, "What the hell am I watching?" This is what a real centre forward does. A really good centre forward. It's just it was just beautiful to watch. It's just completely. We've used this phrase so many times. I know I have, like a transformational signing, but he truly is a transformational signing, isn't he?
Yeah.
He links everything together, and everyone. Has got to look up to him and try and emulate him, and he's going to raise the level of all the players around him. It's just wonderful to see.
Well, he can obviously beat a man, can't he? He's got that in his game to beat a man or two. Our previous strikers just didn't have that, did they? Really, they couldn't beat a man to create a chance, really. So, I think he's going to be something special. I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I can't. All this talk about the new right back, I just cannot see it in a million years that we're going to get another right back. I'm sorry, because Ben White can play there, Saliba can play there. Obviously, we've got Tomiyasu as a starting right back, and we've also still got Cedric. And at the moment, I know he's probably not going to be around very much longer, but we've still got Ainsley as well, who can play right back.
I mean, we're not still on our books as well.
Yeah, well, obviously, we've still got Hector. So, but I mean, I know that Ainsley and Hector are probably going to go almost certainly, but it still leaves us with 4 options there. I just can't see us going for another right back. And people will obviously want
first choice, would you? You wouldn't buy a first choice right back, would you?
No, exactly. No, but what first choice right back will come to us? That's what I was going to say.
To be a squad player,
yeah.
You've got squad players who can play right back, so I don't see why you'd spend any money on another defender now.
No, I can't see it in a million years. If you're any good right back worth their weight in salt, would not come and play second fiddle to, as it stands, Tomiyasu and White, because I think White does a really good job there. But he can. Saliba can, and Gary's just put up Saliba at right back. What? Why? I'm not saying he's going to play there very often, but he can play there. He's played there before. So in a similar way that Ben White has. I'm not saying he's going to play right back first choice or anything like that, Gary, but he can do a job there, and he did it for Marseille. So
I think modern day footballers can play more than one position.
Yeah,
modern day footballers are very apt at playing in different formations and different positions. But yeah, he's our centre back, but he can fill in if we get to that sort of 3 injuries and we suddenly need to pull somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're at absolute bare bones and all we've got is Rob Holding as the last defender that we can possibly bring in, then that would be the only case where Saliba would probably switch to right back because Rob Holding ain't going to play there, but Saliba has, and he has done it before. This is what I mean. I'm not saying he's going to play it right back for us at all, but he can play there. So I mean, I just can't see us buying another right back. That's all. I mean, I might be very, very surprised, but any decent right back ain't going to come knowing that we've got that many on the books at the moment. We'll be like England. We'll be like bloody Gareth Southgate having 5 right backs in every squad.
He'd play him at left back though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd play him anywhere as long as he gets him in the squad. I must have right backs.
It's just great though. It's just a good position to have because now we're talking about players that we're going to leave out and who can we bring in, and it's really good. And I say I'm looking forward to see Fabio play. Because look at his stuff on, stuff I have seen. He looks amazing, creative, which is something we need. But yeah, you're not going to squeeze them all in, are you? But yeah, 5 substitutes in all the European games. They're all going to get plenty of minutes, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And let's face it, Cedric is not going anywhere. I can only see him playing in all the cup competitions. I can see him playing in Europa League group stages. I can see him playing in the Carabao Cup, and that will take the burden off Tomiyasu and Ben White.
Holding will play centre back.
Yeah,
won't he?
Yeah, because he ain't going anywhere, Cedric. So he will be our cup right back.
And he can play left back, can't he? He can play left back.
He's got both sides. Yeah.
So that would make sense to keep hold of him. And if he's happy to stay, a bit like El Neni, he's happy to stay and be a squad player, then fair play to him, really.
No, he loves it. He loves being in all the photos.
Down, really, particularly last season. I know he played a lot of games last season. He didn't particularly let us down badly in any of them, really.
No. Every single photo that Stuart McFarlane takes, he's in it. No, he ain't going to leave.
So, there we go.
Greeny in the chat, there's a few more comments. Got Greeny in the chat saying, I said before the start of the season, top 4 will be City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and that lot down the road. I see no reason to change my mind. It's obviously basing it on what we saw this weekend with Chelsea and that ball. That's what should have been a ball draw, and United just being United, and West Ham. I don't know. We'll see what happens with West Ham. I think they'll be in and around it, but I think they'll fall short again. I've already said before you'd even kicked a ball, I was doing predictions of saying we will be in 3rd. Obviously, the media and all that have Tottenham there, but that's their own prerogative and all that.
I mean, we let ourselves down last season. Last few games of the season, didn't we? With our squad depth, cost us in the end, didn't it? We just needed another couple of points from somewhere in those last games, and we'd have been Champions League. But so this season, Champions League is our minimum target, isn't it? I think, and a cup.
I think he likes playing right back as well, Ben White. I think he's more than capable of playing the 38 games in the Premier League and in some of the final cup competitions. I just hope we, literally touching wood as I say this, I just hope if he can stay fit, the back four stays fit, then I think we can comfortably sort of cover those areas on the pitch, and even bloody Cedric, who we all in our heart of hearts we'd all love to see him go and get someone a bit better in. I mean, I'd love nothing more than Rainsley to really strike, to actually wake up one morning and say, right, I'm going to really knuckle down and get my career back on track, and so we can have him instead of Cedric as a choice as right back. But that ain't going to happen, unfortunately. But I'd love it to.
No, sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting. We said this back in May, Andrew. We were doing like streams, we were doing like watch-alongs for the European Cup finals and all that. We touched on Reece Nelson, we touched on Ainsley. We said the same thing. We said it's up to him now. He needs to he needs to just get his head at his backside and wake up, get his head at his backside and realise what Sam Allardyce told him 12 months ago, and whatever Mourinho said in the last few months before he came back. Take it on board, but and just realise what you've got here, because the grass ain't always green. If you want to play midfield, and you can't even get in the starting 11 of a struggling West Brom side on a regular basis for 6 months. What chance have you got in an Arsenal midfield 11?
But how many chances did you win, though? How many chances?
All his chances came from playing fullback, either right wing back or occasionally left wing back. He got in the England squad. He got called up to the England squad for his left wing back work. At the back end of the,
Can you see any clubs queuing around the corner to buy him? I mean, what a talent he is. He's got everything, that kid. But can you see anyone linked to him? I mean, he would have been absolutely perfect for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
But no clubs have come in for him. And he's just sitting there doing nothing. Nothing. It's just such a waste of a great talent. It really is. I mean, how many people would give their left arm to be in his position? And he's just messing his career up.
Yeah.
He needs someone to go up to him, shake him really hard, saying, "What the hell are you doing, man?" Because you're wasting the best years of your career here. Yeah. You're living the life everyone wants. Every young kid wants to dream of being in your position, and you're just wasting it. I would love him to be, because he could really fight for a place, in this Arsenal team. And like we said last year, at the end of the game, after the end of the season, he could have played pretty much every game in one position or another from last January onwards for Arsenal. Because we had injuries at right back, we had injuries at left back, we had injuries in midfield. He could have played pretty much every game at some point.
All those games that Cedric played. All those games that Cedric played. He could have played one of those games.
But he wasted sitting on the bench at Roma instead, playing no games for them.
He hardly played, did he? Hardly played.
2 or 3 games, I think, the most.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have 5 minutes with him.
Is it another cancelled contract just to get him out of the club?
You can't do that with Ainsley. It'll break my heart, honestly. It literally break my heart. We end up giving him away for free and cancelling his contract. Honestly. I could go on all day about it. I just wish I could sit down with him for 5 minutes in a room somewhere and just talk some sense into the bloke. Honestly, I really do. Because it's so frustrating. I've never been more frustrated with any player in my life, I don't think.
I mean, even goes to something, a comment in the chat. I'll just put it up on the screen now. It says, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I believe in certainly his career, he won't play where he's best suited. He's at right back, in his opinion, and he's showing how poor he is at midfield.
Yeah, he's not poor in midfield, but he's not like he's never going to be a world-class midfielder. Yeah, because he's actually had some good games in midfield, and even pre-season he played half decent. I can't remember which game it was. He started in midfield, and he looked quite good. But he's never going to be as good as as good a midfielder as he is going to be as good a right back.
Yeah, it's Nuremberg.
If that makes sense. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he looked half decent, but he's only going to be an average midfielder at best, but he could be a real class right back if he really learnt the art of defending, and he's got all the attributes to be one of the best right backs out there. But he's just wasted the last 2 years where he could have, because it must have been about a couple of years ago when he got into the England side, maybe a little bit more now. And if he'd have cracked on from that period, then it was a run up to the FA Cup run, wasn't it?
It was after the FA Cup. After we won the FA Cup, we just won the Community Shield, and that.
That's right, yeah. So if he'd have knuckled down from that moment onwards and said, right, I'm going to be the best right back or best left back I could be, look where he could be now, 2 or 3 years down the line. Anyway, like I said, I could go on about him for a whole podcast.
But if he was that good, we wouldn't have bought Tomiyasu, would we?
No.
Because he could have nailed down that position as our main right back, especially with Bellerin gone. You'd have been looking at him rather than buying in. Now he's behind 3 other players minimum, isn't he, to get in the right back position?
Yeah.
And he's nowhere near a midfield position, is he?
Was he? I don't think he was even on the bench, was he, for Crystal Palace?
No, I don't think so.
So I think his time is gone. I think he's done. I think if a club comes in with a reasonable loan offer, I don't know how long he's got left on his contract, but we probably wouldn't get a fee for him as it stands, would we?
No,
Not
it's just
not
ridiculous.
decent anyway.
Ridiculous. When you consider we had, what, £35 million bid from Wolves a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And everyone at the time, all the Arsenal fans said, no, we don't want him to go. Well, maybe you've been some, but there was so many Arsenal fans because of the form he was showing in the run up to the FA Cup win and everything. We all loved him, didn't we? And he that penalty he took in the Charity Shield against Liverpool, just made me laugh for about a week. It was just brilliant, and we all loved him at that point, and we were quite happy that the club turned it down. But looking back now, I mean, Christ Almighty, we should have taken that 35 million.
Taken it and fucking run to the bank with it. I think the final nail in the coffin was the Instagram post this time last year, and the deadline day is obviously basically putting it out there. He doesn't like the manager, and the manager doesn't like him, and this it's like worries me basically. Sort of, but more cynical, so to say, in that. And he played, as I say, he played a couple more times. I think there's 2 games afterwards. League wise. And then I think his last game was Watford at home, and then didn't hear anything of him, and they got loaned at the Roma. And after one game, he goes like, "Nah, you're doing a bench now." Again, that's what
I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if he's still with us come the end of the transfer window. To be fair,
I am. Despite all this, I'm still surprised not one club has come in for him. Not even like a Bournemouth or any of the clubs that have come up from the Premier League.
Yeah, that should be damaging to him. That's what speaks
Fulham, Bournemouth,
he damaged his career so much that not even, as you're saying, the newly promoted teams aren't even having a glance at him.
I'm a little bit surprised at that, though, even for a cheeky bid of, I don't know, even for like £5 million bid or something like that. You're getting a good player for that. For whatever you think of him, he was good enough to get into the England team. He's shown that he's a really good young English talent, obviously homegrown, which a lot of clubs need homegrown players. And for someone to have a punt on him for 5, 6, 7 million quid or something like that, I am surprised that not one club seems to have been linked with him. I think the only link I ever saw was that Nottingham Forest one when they sold Jed Spence, and that would have been a great replacement for Jed Spence.
If another club came in for him and said to him, right, we'll sign you, but we want to play right back. What's he going to do then? Is he going to turn and say, well, I don't want to do right back? Because he doesn't want to play right back for us, does he? So, we don't see you as a midfield player. We see you as a right back. Well, I don't want to play right back. It's a bit like, what do you do?
His career will be over by the age of 25, and he'll end up being...
It's an attitude thing, isn't it? It's obviously an attitude thing. He's got a different vision for himself than everybody else has, and unfortunately, it's not the same as Arteta's, and, there's only one person going to win that argument, so...
Maybe he'll have to go down to League Two then, and,
too good for League Two,
start playing midfield. Yeah, no, I mean, if the only club that's going to buy him for... Or when he gets released on a free to play him in midfield is like a League Two, a League One club, then is he going to wake up then? Because I can't see any top flight clubs or even championship clubs buying him to be a midfielder because they've only seen him play right back or left back.
It'll be a transfer deadline deal then, won't it? It'll be a lastminute.com club coming in, just trying to clubs looking for a player they can pick up cheap. Lastminute.com, and maybe that's what will happen. Some club will come in, and he'll go. Pepe's the same. And what would you get for Pepe in the market at the moment? 30, 25?
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
The only way he's going to go. The only way he's going to go is on loan, and we'll probably have to subsidise 50% of his wages. That's what I think.
Keep Reece and keep Reece Nelson instead. Let
Pepe
go and keep Reece.
Well, I think we'll still obviously take an offer for Reece as well. Again, I'm staggered. Well, no one has come in for Reece. He had a really good second half of last season. Really, really good. Well, again, he would have also suited one of the promoted clubs right down to the ground. Again, similar to AMN. I can't understand why no one's come in for him, even for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million.
Maybe it's the money thing. Maybe these clubs just haven't got the money, and they're waiting for cancel contracts, free transfers, whatever. I mean,
Well, Forest are
seems to be only
splashing the
Barcelona
cash.
can sign players without any money.
Forest are after Jizz. So, I mean, they're going to spend a lot of money on Jizz. So,
Anyway, moving on.
talk about spunking your money up the wall. Sorry,
I have no
had to be
response to
done.
that.
Had to be
I
done.
have no words. Sorry.
You only wish you thought of it. That's all.
I didn't think of it first, unfortunately.
No, but honestly, but in all seriousness, they're spending a lot of money. Forest, I think they've brought in about 12 players so far. Unbelievable. So they could have surely spent 2 or 3, 4, 5 million on Reece or Ainsley.
So really, what we're saying is Niles, Reece, and Pepe don't have a place in the squad, do they? Or the side, or one of them.
I would like to keep Reece. I would like to keep him personally. I think he'd be ideal for Europa League. He did really well in Europe last season, scoring, assisting in most games he was playing in. I think it'd be ideal. But we've also got Marquinhos, who's starting to really make a ripple through this. I don't know whether he scored a good goal, didn't he? And assisted one against Man United reserves at the under-21s. So he's starting to look good. And obviously, I don't know if you saw Xhaka's comments about him, saying that he really reminds him of when Martinelli came in and everyone thought he was going to be in the under-23s for a season or two, but he took off, and he says that I can see the same sort of thing happening to Marquinhos because he's that good. So we never know.
Then, isn't it? That's even worse than Pepe Nelson, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
And he's more likely to develop Marquinhos than he is to keep Reece, then, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or just, Marquinhos go out on loan and keep Reece. Is it another case of give him a year somewhere? And see what happens when he comes back. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of to and fro's in the next couple of weeks, isn't there? That's for sure. Well, 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be very busy.
It's going to be quiet now, isn't it? Because they're all focusing on start of the season and all of that, next game. But once things settle down a bit, then things will pick up the pace again, I think, with comings and goings.
Yeah. Definitely.
We've not been linked with Benzema yet, so it's not a normal transfer window yet.
Or Cavani.
Aouar, where's he gone now? Is he going somewhere?
Well, funnily enough, Forest are linked to Aouar.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. It's on the BBC Sport gossip the gossip page. They're interested in Aouar. It says on there.
He must be going cheap now. Then it's not going for the money that we were looking at.
Yeah, exactly. That took how far he's plummeted. He can't. No one's in for him at all. And I think it's down to his brother again.
The agent.
Yeah.
He's
put a load of clubs off him.
We'll go on to Jesus. Obviously, back on Friday, he's made his Premier League debut for us. Started off well, and obviously, I think the enthusiasm obviously as the game petered on. Near the end before he went off, you could see he needed a bit of a few minutes come off and recuperate for next week. But I think he'd have another solid performance from one of our new players. We've mentioned it before. Quick feet, took on quite a few times. Took on 3 or 4 players, and made that final pass off to someone else, and they fluffed it. Martinelli, Odegaard, the second half. He had a few shots himself that went just wide of the post or got deflection and this, that, and the other. It was an absolute nightmare for that Palace defence. That's not a rookie defence either, with all due respect. So, again, like we saw in pre-season, it showed us, yet again, and it showed the world what we were missing last year up front, where we were toothless, with all due respect, with Aubameyang and Lacazette, ironically. Fast forward a year, we brought in Jesus and Man City, a young, experienced, won 4 Premier League medals, 4 League Cups, etc., etc. But he's young and he's hungry. And the fact he's now the main man, he's made him even more enthusiastic and more hungry to perform.
Yeah,
And it's
I think being
benefiting
the
the
main
entire
man.
team.
Yeah, I think being the main man is just giving him that bit extra for this season, isn't it? He's done, as you say, he's won, he's won championships, he's won cups, but now as the main man, I think he'll thrive on that. Especially with the creativity we've got. I can see him winning the Golden Boot. I can see him getting that. No, I mean obviously Haaland is a different class again, isn't he? I mean, but I still think he can be right up there with that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, Haaland, the Terminator. He's, you've got to put your money on him. He's he's obviously just a different beast, isn't he? But I think he could be right up there with the chances that we can create. But also he creates himself, doesn't he? We saw that at the weekend. Just wriggling between 3 or 4 players on the edge of their box, and it's just beautiful. So I can see him scoring a lot of goals this season. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I think he came to us because it's his time to be the main man, and he never had that opportunity at Man City. And the same thing goes for Zinchenko as well. He doesn't want to be a bit part player anymore. He wants to show the world what he can do. And I think that's what's going to really inspire him. And the World Cup coming up, I think he's going to want to bang in as many goals as he can between now and then, because he's not getting into the Brazil team on the wing. He was playing out wide an awful lot, but they've got so many to choose from now. The only weak spot in the Brazil team is centre forward, and I think he's realised that, isn't he?
Yeah,
Gabriel Jesus.
He wants to be Brazil's number 9 going into the World Cup. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
And the only way he's going to do that if he plays up front on a regular basis and scores goals. So he managed to score goals at City, not playing on a regular basis. So, goals per minute played, best in the league, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, right up there.
So play him every game and he gets his fair shot, amount of goals, he will play as Brazil's number 9. And that's what he wants as his ultimate goal, isn't it? So this year, and then obviously go on, next year into getting us into Europe and, winning trophies again.
Yeah, and he'll want Martinelli to be there with him, and Martinelli will desperately want that too. And we can all see that link up between the two of them. He's going to get stronger and stronger. It looks really good already, and you can already see how much Martinelli is relishing playing with him. So that's going to be a real good partnership.
Vice versa, yeah. They're a pair, aren't they? You look at for any team, you look at pairs and partnerships, don't you? Fullbacks and So having a striking pair, there's again is going to be a benefit if they're playing week in, week out, because they start to pick each other's rundowns, don't they? They start sort of knowing where the ball's going to go. Martinelli, he's great at his end product, not there yet, but he can beat a man, fun, can't he? And he's going to pick out, if he puts the ball in the box, the chances are he's not going to be a Lacazette who's still standing on the halfway line. He's going to be actually in the box, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
So wouldn't be surprised if he gets lots of tap-ins this year.
Yeah, I think so. I've said this before, so apologies for repeating myself, but he looks like a new Ian Wright, doesn't he?
Yeah, Fox in the box. He's
Francis
Jeffers. Remember Francis Jeffers when we watched Francis Jeffers? Fox in the box.
Oh, God,
exactly.
Never quite worked out there.
I think he's a little bit better quality than Francis Jeffers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a tad.
Just a tad.
But you can see him being in the box more often than our other strikers that we've had in the past.
He's never scored a goal outside the box, has he? Famously, ever. So he wants to be in the box. Yeah, but you can honestly, you can see some of the goals he scored, like the Emirates Cup. That they were Ian Wright goals, weren't they? Proper Ian Wright goals. Third goal. Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to really look forward to that. Watching him this season.
Sorry, just mentioning that again. That's what in terms of strikers we've had over the last few years, last couple of years. Sorry, because their form dipped off. We've missed that striker that's in the box, as you say, that will scrap for everything. Won't just stand about and wait for the ball to come. But if there's a loose ball, he's running for it.
Yeah, do you remember how many times?
you're confident he can get on the end of a ball. If Odegaard puts the ball through, a bit like the Haaland goal we saw the other day. You know, if De Bruyne puts that through to Jesus, he's going to get on to the end of that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas Lacazette would be somewhere on the halfway line, wouldn't he? Would, you know.
Trying to find his inhaler in his pocket.
You know, but Jesus can do that. So Odegaard, once he gets on that wavelength, that these through balls can be made, and he will get on the end of them.
Yeah.
You know, we've
Definitely.
not had that for a couple of seasons, have we? We've not really had that player that can break the back line and get on the end of a ball.
I heard so often people speaking about Lacazette, like he scores goals when it's just perfect for him to hit the ball. He doesn't like. It's almost like he doesn't want to scrap and fight for a tap in with his toe. Everything has to be perfect. He's like a Goldilocks player, I think is the term I heard him use. I think it was Tim Stillman maybe who was talking about it, saying they have to score the perfect goal and it has to be perfectly teed up for him and he has to be perfectly in the right position to shoot. But Jesus isn't like that. He will just if he can just get his toe on it in the crowd of players, he will do that just to get the goal.
And he can create his own chances as well. He can create his own chances as well. You know, he doesn't necessarily need somebody to put it on a plate for him. He can create that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hope he stays fit and he'll play the majority of games, won't he? Without a doubt.
Yeah, that's why you know, when we're talking about what sort of the last couple of players we're going to bring in, and everyone's going on about a wide player or a winger or whatever. That's why I'm sort of erring on the centre forward rather than a wide player, because we're quite well covered in the wide areas more than we're covered in the central striking area, because we've literally only got Eddie and Jesus, whereas we've got a lot of wide players that can play left or right. May not be the perfect one that we want, you know, that if we can get a shiny new Sane or someone like along those sorts of lines, then great. But if, God forbid, you know, Jesus was out for 3 or 4 weeks, we are literally down to Eddie, which is, you know, Eddie's a lot better than everyone thought he was, you know, he's great. But if we're just down to Eddie and that's it, then people are going to worry, aren't they? So that's why I would prefer a central player.
But you're buying a third choice centre, aren't you? Presumably.
Yeah.
Well, again, you know,
if you're buying
the
a third choice, why not keep Balogun as your third choice?
Well, yeah, he scored against Reims. No, not against Reims. Sorry, against Marseille. 4 Reims.
So I don't think a striker is high on the list of, unless somebody falls in their lap. I don't think a striker is high on the list.
Fabio Vieira has been known to play that false 9 role when called upon.
Yeah,
and we mentioned it before about him. It looks like he might be the backup to Saka in terms of take the pressure load off Saka throughout the season, but there's a possibility when called upon that he may play that false 9, and we know Arteta has tried to do it before with players that don't know how to do that. So there's that possibility as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And Martinelli could play up front, couldn't he? Potentially, if Smith Rowe comes in on the left.
Smith Rowe.
There's that as well.
Smith Rowe can obviously, he's spoken about Smith Rowe doing that role as well, hasn't he? False 9.
Yeah,
Arteta has actually openly said it. So
I don't think
that's another option.
Striker is going to happen. I don't think personally, but I think it'd be more midfielders or wide players if we're buying anybody else at all.
I really can't wait to see him play, Fabio Vieira. Very excited.
Yeah, it's shame he picked up a foot injury right at the start of the tour, wasn't it? Otherwise, he would have played, you know, a few games, a few minutes. But
it was on international duty. Apparently, we got that.
Yeah. It's the Arsenal curse, isn't it? As soon as we sign a player, they get injured, don't they? Generally.
And everyone lost their freaking mind over it as well.
Thank God it wasn't too serious.
Yeah,
I literally, it's very exciting to be able to see him for the first time, because it's such a shame he hasn't been able to play any of the pre-season, isn't it?
He's a little bit of a way, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's back in training
now,
but I think Tommy's a bit further ahead, isn't he? I don't know if Tommy's going to be ready for the weekend, but at least he's playing now. But he's a bit of a worry as well, isn't he? He missed half the season, didn't he, really, in games? So hopefully he's going to have a good run now when he gets back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I think we might see Fabio in like the first, either like the first round of the League Cup for us, obviously, or ease them in for the Europa League and all that, sort of ease them in that way because of the injury now. And obviously, anything drastic happens where we have to bring him at full up, speed him up, and all that. But yeah, I think that's going to be the case now, where we'll see him start off with in drips and drabs in terms of midweek games when they come out. And then eventually we'll see him play the league once he's comfortable. Because there's another thing we've got people have mentioned as well. Have met him. They're not just gone by what they've seen online, but they've met him as well. He needs to sort of bulk up a bit in terms of physicality. Yeah. We mentioned it last night, didn't we, Andrew?
Yes, yeah. I can see him playing a few under-21 games like Tomiyasu did recently. He played 45 minutes of that game against Man United, didn't he? And I can see Fabio Vieira building up a bit of fitness playing there as well. But I'm not too worried about just his, needing to bulk up too much at the moment. Because when you look at Man City, they've got so many players like that running around on the pitch no one can get close to.
Bernardo Silva.
It will come.
Yeah.
I mean, it will come, that strength. But I don't think it's going to hinder him from actually playing Premier League football straight away, to be honest. And they're really... I don't know if you heard the Arsecast yesterday, I think, but James was talking about him, saying that all the feedback he's got from inside the club is nothing but positive about Fabio Vieira. They all love him. He's really... entrenched in all the, everything that goes on in the club, regards sort of personality-wise. He's got a strong personality, apparently. He's been really impressing everyone with that. And I think that, it's Phil Foden as well. We look at Phil Foden, you could walk up to him and blow him over, couldn't you, with your mouth? So he's not got any weight on him. And Bernardo Silva, like you said, and he's probably got one or two others that are playing. I mean, Palmer, who come on, I think young academy graduate came on. He's not got much upper body strength either, but it doesn't stop him from playing. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He's one of the most excited ones because we don't know anything about him really, do we? I mean, we've seen all the highlight reels of how good he was in Portugal, but he's just a bit unknown. But they think really highly of him, apparently, within the club. So hopefully we'll see him get his chance soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice problem to have, these players that we haven't seen yet still to come into the squad.
Also, what was it as well, in terms of Fabio Vieira, what was saying about how he's been well received? I mean, it does seem, from what we're seeing photos-wise, that him and Martinelli is filming a good friendship off the pitch as well, a good bond.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, was obviously help him settle in and hope when it does come to playing they'll have that connection basically on the pitch.
Yeah, a lot of Portuguese speakers, haven't we? So that's really good.
Yeah,
I think it's a very happy squad though. Generally, isn't it? It's a very happy squad.
Yeah,
very much so.
They've all got each other's backs. There's no sort of standout, big personalities are going to cause us a problem. So, they just all get on, don't they? They all want the same goal. They all got the same goal. Which is all good.
Yeah.
And they're all similar age, aren't they? They're all similar age. They all have similar interests, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Xbox and PlayStation, basically it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, they don't watch football, do they? They don't watch football, so.
Hair products and fashion.
Yeah.
We'll be the face of Nivea soon. The Arsenal players.
Yeah, Nivea men's shower gel.
Yeah, like David Beckham was Brill Cream back in the day. Remember that?
Oh yeah, and the Pepsi adverts as well. Don't forget them.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. We'll be featuring a place featuring in the next Prime advert with KSI and Logan Paul.
Do you know what? That Prime drink. When I went to the Emirates Cup, because that had just been launched that weekend, hadn't it?
Yeah, opening weekend it was, yeah.
And I went and bought 4 bottles of that. Do you know how much it was?
The brother told me because he went to go and get himself one at half time. They'd always sold out where we were in the lower tier.
They sold out for an hour before kickoff. All of it had sold out, apparently.
Yeah, £4.50 £4.50. He said something like that,
£4.50 for a bottle of energy drink.
which you could get in,
So-
which you get in Asda for £2 something, if that.
I bought 4 of them, and it cost me 18 quid.
But
I did. If I'd have known, I just thought, no.
You were
chance.
leaping buildings after drinking it all, though, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. It was quite nice to drink. I can't say it was unpleasant, but it was like almost quite thick. I can't really. Yeah, a little bit, but it was all right. But yeah, I mean, if I'd have known, when I asked for them, I didn't know the price. So when he said 18 quid, I nearly punched him in the face. And said, "What the hell are you on about?"
I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get one," because he was going with me. He's like, "How much is it?" Because in terms of outside the Arsenal, you can only get it as the stores, the ones that haven't sold out yet and got the new bulk in. I looked online. It was like £1, £1.98, or £2 exactly. And then literally he said, "Oh, that'd be £5. That'd be around £5." And then he weren't far off. He was £4.50. I was like, "Bloody hell! What is it with Arsenal?" I mean, it's not just Arsenal. I mean, did you see the little post that going on yesterday about West Ham?
Yeah, West Ham. Yeah,
£7.50 for half a pint or something like that.
Yeah, mad, absolutely mad.
But it's just like, in terms of the food side of things as well, for us, we've been known for the years. In terms of the pizzas they sell, it's well known that they're still bought from around the corner. Chicago Town Pizza from around the corner, Sainsbury's or Tesco, and they just cook it, but they're charging them with a leg for it. 16 quid for the whole thing.
Business,
Unbelievable.
Business.
Yeah, I know. If you get the
way somehow, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Steve F saying you're ignoring my criticism.
We're not ignoring your comment, by the way. We're just chatting away, and obviously while we're chatting, you're putting your
talking about food and
comments
drink, so sorry.
No, it's just ripping Arsenal to shreds after we've won away in the first game of the season.
If this was last year, then fair enough, Steve. Knock yourself out.
How could you be really disappointed in the performance of Steve? Genuinely, I mean, they're a very good side. Did you look at their record at home last season? They only lost one game all season.
All the big sides last season.
They took 10 points off all the big top six.
Yeah.
You cannot be disappointed with a 2-0 away win under any circumstances, in my opinion. I just don't get it. Why, how can you not be happy winning away at Crystal Palace?
Any away win in the Premier League is a very good result.
You will look back and if a few weeks, a few months, you will look back on that win and think that was a bloody good win, because they're going to turn over a lot of good teams this season at home. They really are. And we're going to look back and think we did really well to win that. It was the first game of the season, literally the first game of the season. And, we're not into any kind of proper rhythm yet either.
Yeah, exactly.
So give us a chance, mate. But, you've got to give them some kudos for being a good side as well. They are a good side under Patrick Vieira. They've really got their crap together, and they know how to play a game against a multitude of different sides. They know how to play against them. So the fact that we lost control of the game for a while after the first 35 minutes or whatever, you've got to understand that they're at home in front of their home fans, and they're a good side. So they're bound to have got a lot of the game at some point.
But also, again, taking consideration, as you say, all that, but also it's opening night under the lights. They're the home team. We're under pressure because of how we performed in pre-season, plus the pressure of not doing what we did last year. And I honestly think, because we started, as I say, the first half, 35 minutes or so, we started off well. We were the team more threatening. We had all the ball. We were just going at it. We were just playing arguably the best football we've seen in years, let's be honest. Honestly, because obviously most of that squad was here last year. They started opening night last year, or Saka came into bench last year, for example. And I think the mindset got to the point when Palace started growing into the game, they thought, as a team, we don't want to fuck this up now, because we're 1-0 up. We need to protect what we got and try and counter-attack them. And that's what we did. I think we mentioned this last night. on your channel for our weekly show, Andrew, is watching it back. Yeah, they had a lot of a ball for the majority of the game in the end, give or take. But what did they actually really create? I mean, the Edouard chance in the first
two
half.
Two chances, and
Yeah, the Edouard
Ramsdale saved.
The Edouard chance that was blocked by Xhaka before the end. There was a chance where another chance in the first half, Ramsdale saved, and another one in the second half. Early in the second half, he saved. Apart from that,
He kept them quiet.
Yeah, and the players as a whole. That's the reason why Saliba got man of the match as well, because as a whole, we were defensively sound, and he was the one that shone bright because obviously how well he performed.
Yeah, we're not going to be fully.
It's match day one as well. It's match day one.
We had 3 debutants in that side, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which is very rare to have 3 debutants in the same side for an opening game of the season. And we beat a very good team 2-0 away from home. They had a few chances, but then so did we. We had more chances than we took. So you have to look at the whole game and think we played really well overall, and we come away with 3 points. And last season, we were losing games like that, and we were all moaning, if we'd have beat Palace, we'd have beat Southampton. Well, now we've beaten Palace.
Yeah.
We've got 3 points.
We've got 3 points we didn't get last year.
Under the bloody lights.
So
we didn't exactly. We got.
So it's about winning games of football, isn't it? That's what it's about.
I couldn't care less if we were lucky and won every game 1-0, mate. I just don't. Honestly,
No, absolutely
if you
not,
can't, if you can't be happy about us winning away, then it's a shame. It's a shame because you're missing out on a lot of joy.
For you, if you're going to be disappointed with a game like that, it's going to be a very, very long season for you. That's for sure.
It's not a case of them working us out, though, Steve. Either to Steve in the chat, that they worked us out after 35 minutes. They've got a really good manager there as well, who's proving himself in the Premier League to be a really good manager. This is a well-used phrase now that I'm using more and more, but other teams have tactics too. They work us out, but of course they do because they've got a manager on the sideline watching the game. He can see where they're being hurt by Arsenal the first 35 minutes. Of course he's going to make changes. Of course he is. Exactly. So, we weathered the storm and we came out of it. We scored. Another thing I liked, we won both halves.
Yeah.
We won both halves 1-0. Exactly.
I forgot about that.
Exactly. And we didn't do that hardly at all, did we, previously? So we're doing that more and more and more often now. So I'm just really happy that we got the points and we've come away with there because I'm not talking about the start that we had last season, the first 3 games. I'm saying away to Palace last season, we didn't get any points. So we've got 3 more points than we got last season against a good side. So, just be happy and enjoy it because your life will be a lot more fulfilled.
Oh, dude. Let's just go through the comment one sec with Blackness.
It's not they don't call it the most competitive league in the world, do they? The Premier League for no reason.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Look what happened to Liverpool at the first game.
Against the new promoted Fulham as well, away from home.
That would have been us. That would have been, why we beat teams like Brighton.
We would have been vilified, mate.
Yeah, of course we will.
Absolutely vilified.
Yeah, losing at home to Brighton. Who does that apart from Arsenal? Well, we didn't, did we?
No,
it wasn't us.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say that question on the screen. I don't get any change if I take my 3 kids with me, which I have to. I don't get any change over roughly about 400 quid for the day.
That's why me and my brother don't buy anything when we go, or go with my cousin or whoever. We don't actually buy stuff we don't buy food or drink in the stadium because it's expensive. It's extortionate. It's extortionate. It's a rip-off. You can pop out. You can literally wait till you get outside or before you go in, and buy yourself a bottle of water or whatever from the shop around the corner for a lot less. It is ridiculous. We've mentioned shirts before. The prices for shirts have got ridiculous. 70 quid for a shirt now. I
know.
It's ridiculous nowadays. Well, it used to be 10, 15 years ago. It used to be 35 £35 exactly for this sort of shirt.
Yeah,
you didn't have the 30 editions either, which is
exactly
an extra.
Actually, that 400 quid I tell a lie. Well, not telling a lie. It's true. That's exactly what it cost me for the day. But that actually, thinking about it, it does include the cost
Petrol.
of me getting there. Yeah,
Yeah.
petrol, all the food, obviously the tickets, the petrol to get down there, the food and drink, and we always have to. When you've got 3 young kids and you go take them down to the Emirates, you've always got to buy them a little souvenir or something as well. So
Yeah.
all in all, roughly give it about 400 quid it cost me, all in all. So it's ridiculous, mate. It's so expensive, and that's why I just physically cannot get there as much as I would like. I would want to be there every week, and I would be if I could, but I made the life choices I made to have kids, and I've got to stick. I'm stuck with it, mate.
Gary saying Crystal Palace missed 2 good chances, but Jesus had many shots blocked. Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard missed some good chances.
Yeah,
Going
all
back to what we
true.
were saying before.
Yeah.
All true. All true.
So you have to be there to create them, don't you? And the more you create, the more chances you've got to score it. So,
And in terms of what Steve says here, the last comment we make so far is we couldn't impose ourselves. I think, again, it's game week 1. Again, if we'd been at home, I think we would be more imposing a lot longer. But it's away from home because of what happened again a few months prior last season. That's in their heads as well. They just
3 debutants, like Steve said.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were 1-0 up at the time, they're thinking they're going into this. We don't want to throw this away. So as a unit, they had to defend and just let them have the ball. And because of the way they did it, they sat back, went behind the ball, and let Palace have the ball. But Palace didn't. Again, Palace, apart from 2 chances, like people saying in the chat, we've been saying all night. What else did they create? They didn't. At any point when they did get anywhere near the penalty box, did they look threatening? Ben White, who by the way is not a natural right back. Yeah, he plays there. He has played there before for Brighton and Leeds respectively before, and he played a couple of times for us last season. But he's not a natural right back. He's gone up against one of the most trickiest diving wingers in the league, and frustrated the life out of him for the entire 90 minutes.
at the end of the day, we beat a good side 2-0 away from home. If you can't be happy with that in the Premier League,
I honestly cannot believe the amount of moaning.
We all said to ourselves, what predictions for the result? And we'd have all gone, 1-1, maybe 2-1. To get 2-0 away from home against that Palace side, against Vieira, happy days. Move on. Let's do the same this weekend. If we play the same way this weekend, and Leicester give us a lot of trouble, but we win 2-0, fantastic. Move on.
I know. Absolutely. I'd like to lap it up. That's really sad.
Plus, we'll have Teamers by then anyway, so that's cool.
So is that?
We'll have
Olivia Newton-John has passed away.
Did she have cancer or something, didn't she? Was she
Yeah.
poorly for a while?
I think so. I know she had it before and she's recovered, but I don't know whether she's gone back into recession or something. I don't know.
Sad times. Those leather trousers, man, help me grow up.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Let's move on. But yeah, I honestly cannot believe that we're moaning, or we're not moaning.
We're not.
About a 2-0 away win in the Premier League, first game of the season. I just think it's crazy. Okay, give us a bit of time to settle down into our game, let the new players settle in, get into our groove, and then we can see whether we can bash teams and dominate the game for 90. But there's not many teams that can ever dominate a game in the Premier League for 90 minutes. The opposition is always going to have spells, unless you're maybe Man City or Liverpool or something.
But even didn't walk over West Ham, did they?
No, and Liverpool
West Ham had some of the game.
Liverpool drew away to Fulham, and if that had been us, we would have got vilified by the press. Can you imagine what our fans would be saying then?
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, people, because it's only going to get better the more games these players get to play together and gel. Then it's only going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Here.
Yeah, definitely. 1 second.
And the assembled has said last season we'd have lost or drew that game. They've improved in that way. They must have to be consistent, and we've all seen the improvement that Palace have had under Vieira over the last 12 months as well. So other teams improve, we've improved. So a 2-0 away win to that Palace team, I genuinely think could have aspirations to reach like maybe the Europa Conference League this season or something like that. That kind of position.
Mm.
We're going to look back on that and think, wow, that was a really good result, because they're going to turn over a lot of good teams this
Who are
season.
Palace playing with this weekend? Then who have Palace got this weekend?
Oh,
be away.
I don't know. I've struggled enough to remember our fixtures.
I think it might be Liverpool. I'll double check. I think.
But
Well, they beat Liverpool last season, didn't they? Or drew?
You just take every game as it comes, don't you? It's all about the 3 points, move on.
Drew, yeah.
No injuries, clean sheet, move on.
Yeah, Monday night, Liverpool at home to Palace next Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool ain't going to find that easy, are they? You know. And do you remember my pre-season prediction was Liverpool might struggle this season?
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah,
I'm not. I don't think they're going to be quite as. I'm not going to say that they're not going to be a great team again, because they clearly are. And I think they will finish second. But I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the levels of points that they have been over the last few seasons.
Too many dry pitches. I'm telling you, too many dry pitches.
That's crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, also to just add on to what December was asking earlier about the match day experience and what it costs. If you want a nice, not expensive day out, and then still have a good day out at the Emirates, there's a North London derby coming up for the women at the Emirates.
Yeah.
Upper tiers now open. It's £12 a ticket, general sale now.
Yeah, that'd be good. But the concessionary stands will be still the same price, I'm sure.
That's what you said, but you still got to go down. But obviously, get your little certain sizes, certain bottles of drink, certain small sizes bottle of drink, sneak them in. Bob's your uncle, or just fill up before and then literally wait until you get outside again and go down the road. We've got plenty of bars and all that. If you want to go for a drink or go for something, there's plenty of food areas to go and get as well. You don't have. You still work out a cheaper day than actually the men's side of things, and that's taking out paying at the concourses and the work inside the stadium.
Mm.
Well, if the cost of living crisis continues, you'll see, attendances fall, won't you? Because people just won't have the money to travel distances to see the club play and pay all the other bits and pieces. They just won't have the money.
If you're struggling to pay your household bills, then how can you justify going to spend all that money going to watch a game of football?
Yeah,
you can't, can you?
And you watch the second it happens, suddenly things will be done to help the people that are struggling.
It should be. Yeah, I hope so. But
it shouldn't take that for a sport like the Premier League to be affected like that.
No, absolutely, of course.
Paying fans have an effect, don't they? But unfortunately, clubs don't make their money from paying fans, do they? They make it from merchandise sales and revenues and all the other streams that they have worldwide.
Yeah, but don't forget they lost over £100 million because of that stadium shutdown. So it does show you that they do make a significant amount of money from the fans as well. Was it £3 million per home game?
Just for us, just in and around. That's before merchandise sales and all
exactly,
that. Yeah.
Just for tickets, I mean, yeah. So it's a significant amount of wedge that they get from the fans as well. Sorry,
Steve, what did you say?
No. I was just going to say it's all going to have an effect at some point, though, isn't it? Because there's not as much money around, and it's already having an effect with transfers, isn't it? Because if the clubs aren't paying, apart from teams like Barcelona that seem to spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players with not a penny in the bank.
Yeah, but they can't register them.
So they can't register them now. So they got all these.
That's so funny.
They can't do nothing with them.
And they're trying to get out of paying Frankie De Jong what he's owed.
Yeah,
but they want to sell him, don't they? They're being told him,
but he wants his money he's owed, and they're saying suddenly out of nowhere, there's a legal stuff in your contract from your previous ownership. We want you to go back to your previous contract, so they don't have to pay him.
Exactly, hilarious.
It's ridiculous, but as you say, they've got all these players now. They can't. The Liga saying no, you can't have them.
I bet Rafinha's delighted with his career choice.
Well, Lewandowski. I mean, he's signed to play. But he's not going to play, is he?
No.
Oh well,
that's great with the World Cup coming up.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a big move for him, was it? End of the career move. somebody was saying they'll be out of business in 6 months. Barcelona, they just can't sustain their squad, can they?
Well, they're literally selling chocolate and wrap it in Barcelona wrapping and charging for the roof. They're charging hundreds of thousands in euros to have a wedding reception at the stadium if you want that and things like that. And on the pitch, they're that desperate for money.
How thick can the club be when they sold 10% of all their future TV revenue in order to fund the Rafinha deal? Well, they're not even thinking that they're struggling to make ends meet now. In fact, they can't make ends meet now.
Yeah.
So now they're going to reduce their income even more by selling 10% of their TV revenue to a hedge fund, just to fund a signing. I mean, honestly, these people need locking up. Absolutely locking up. How stupid can you be? Oh, yeah, we can't pay our bills now, so we'll just reduce our income further, just so we can sign this player, who we can't register, by the way.
They're living in the past, aren't they? They're living in the past when they were one of the biggest clubs in the world and dominating everything, but that's all gone by the by, isn't it? They're not even Champions League, are they? So,
they'll drop back into Europa League soon, don't worry.
Yeah, so, I mean, but how's it fair? Well, there is no fairness, is there, I suppose? Fair play went out the window a long time ago, didn't it?
Yeah, Man City dealt with that one.
Yeah, so long may continue. What will happen is there'll be a lot of cheap players available, won't there, as Barcelona go under eventually.
Yeah.
The Arsenal Misfit, before we wrap things up, says, I think we have a good chance of getting to the Trophy Dodgers match undefeated with 24 points on the board. And obviously, let's talk about the men.
Would be too shabby, would it?
Well, I was saying yesterday in the group chat, via voice note, I was saying, initially I thought 5 wins out of 5 going to Old Trafford, I'd be going into the 6th game against Man United, I'd take it all day long, but nah, I want maximum points and I in 6 games at least, and then kick on from there.
Well, this was our toughest one, away of the first 5. Of the first 5, it was on paper it's our toughest match.
Yeah.
So to get that out of the way with 3 points, I couldn't be happier.
Exactly.
But Man United will play like Real Madrid when we play them. You do know that, don't you?
Well, I've tried to.
Real Madrid under 12s.
Just the way it is, isn't it? Ronaldo will come on and score a hat-trick, 49 years old, played 1,000 games, and he'll come on and score a hat-trick.
He'll either left or be on strike by then, because I honestly, watching the game yesterday, I tweeted out, I think he's going to actually sub himself on without consulting Ten Hag at one point. He was that frustrated. And he went up, started to warm up without, off his own back. And I was thinking, right, I'm going to get stripped off and get on this pitch. Just overrule the manager. That's like he's got to.
He
that
normally
stage.
leaves early, doesn't he? He normally leaves early. So I suppose he was lucky. He was still there, available on the bench.
Normally picked up with a helicopter.
He could have done that during the drinks break, couldn't he?
Yeah. Just drop a rope ladder onto the pitch.
I'm out. Yeah. Take me to Italy now.
Never to be seen again. That'd be hilarious. Leave at half time, but via a rope ladder on a helicopter.
Unbelievable! It's just worth it for the comedy value, isn't it? Following United,
and you can see that we totally dodged a bullet by not buying that little Warwick Davis running around the back with their defence.
I think Warwick Davis could out-jump him, I think. On a clock.
Oh, it made me laugh, that did.
So we could have had him instead of Zinchenko. I wonder who got the better deal, yeah.
I've said that for weeks now. I've got my head ripped off if someone mentioned it. So, the proof of being the pudding coming in this season, when we're back where we belong, hopefully, touchwood. Oh, dear. But the key thing that's going to make or break our season is that World Cup in terms of injuries. If we can
disrupt the season,
fully injury-free the majority of this season, I think we'll be fine.
Luckily, it's the same for every club, isn't it? And luckily, also there's a few players that their country didn't qualify that we've got.
Well, other guys got a month off.
Zinchenko, Odegaard, Tierney haven't qualified. So I mean, there may be more. I'm not going to.
There's no African
go through it
nations
all
next
now.
year either, is there? There's no African nations next year, is there? Or is there?
No, I think it's been. When did it move? I think it's been moved to next summer, if I'm right. Can't remember.
Oh, African Cup of Nations. So yeah, it'll be next. The next one will be in the summer. Yeah, it won't be in the winter, thank God. Or our winter anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's there for everybody, isn't it? So we've just got to deal with it and hopefully don't have any major injuries, and then back on it was our next game with Boxing Day, wasn't it? After the World Cup, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's some breaking news, not Arsenal related, but Conor Cody has just joined Everton on a season-long loan from Wolves.
I don't know why would Wolves do that? They're generally competing for the same sort of league position.
It's a step down, isn't it?
Normally, they are. And he's one of their best defenders. I just don't get it.
He's a captain.
But why would you go to Everton as well? I mean, Everton are even worse shambles than Man United. I mean, their manager, Frank Lampard, obviously, he couldn't manage his own stag do, that bloke.
I've said it all summer. He'll be the first to go. Within a month, Lampard will be gone. Because
money, though, isn't it? It's got to be money, isn't it? It can't be trophies or aggression. It's purely money.
Oh, definitely.
They're a dead club, Everton. Honestly, it's quite sad, really, because they're a good historic club, Everton, and the fans are great, but they're just dying a death. Their recruitment policy is even worse than Man United's, and that's saying something.
I was about to say that's saying something.
It really is saying something. I mean, they haven't bought Warwick Davis; they bought a decent-sized central defender.
Bought Steve Davis.
Bought Steve Davis. Brilliant. Funny.
God.
But maybe he wanted to go back to Merseyside. That's where he's from, isn't it? Kind of Cody.
He's a Liverpool fan as well. I swear he's a Liverpool fan from the academy.
Yeah, he is. You're right. Yeah. I just don't get it. I mean, why? I really don't get it.
You should have signed for Tranmere if you want to go back to Liverpool, surely.
Yeah. You'd be better off than going to Everton. Honestly, some of their choices are absolutely crazy. The money they've
sold paying. Arguably, they've sold their best player, haven't they? Last season or start of this season.
The only fit available threat they had for £60 million.
Yeah. I mean, Calvert-Lewin, he's disappeared, isn't he?
He's injured again.
Dele Alli.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not exactly.
I mean, Dele Alli was the one that. Oh my God! Don't get me started on that deal. I mean, crazy.
Makes the Wobie look like a really good player.
Yeah. Last season, Frank Lampard was on record as saying he was their most important player.
Yeah. Well, he's a good player, isn't he? He's a good player.
Genuinely, he said that because he's been using him as a wing back. And if you, I mean, Christ, if you say that he's your best player, I mean, you're in trouble, aren't you? Really, I'm not being disrespectful to the guy because he was, we all liked him when he was at Arsenal, but
you put money on Everton going down. When if you were going to pick a bottom three, then you'd probably put in bottom three.
Well, let's be honest, it wasn't down to Frank Lampard managerial brilliance that kept them up. I mean, it was their fan base and a lot of luck that kept them up because their fans were fantastic at the end of last season, and that played a big part. But they're going to have to see sense and get rid of Lampard at some point, and it just depends who they will bring in. Because if their managerial choices are just as bad as their player choices when they go to recruitment, then as it was when they appointed Lampard in the first place, then they're on the road to nowhere, aren't they? But maybe they get lucky and they get a good manager in, and he might turn it around a bit. But without changing all of their back office as well at the same time, they're going to go nowhere. They've been like it for years now. They've spent just about as much money as we have, and everyone goes on about us spending money now, but they've spent. Last time I heard, this is before this transfer window, maybe before the last one, I don't know, but they've spent something like 300 million quid, themselves over a short space of time. And where is it? What have they got to show for that? They've got no good players at all.
They've spent all that money purely to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, can you name one player that any other team would want out of that club?
Not
Well,
I
really.
mean, yeah, Anthony Gordon, but he came through their academy. They didn't buy him.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd have him, but I can't think of anyone else.
There's that defender. I'm trying to think what his name. Centre back.
Ben Godfrey.
Yeah, possibly.
He got stretchered off yesterday. Looks like he might have broken his leg. I don't know what the latest is on that.
Actually, he had surgery today.
Was it broken?
I'll double check, but it was like 3 months he's out for. I'll double check now. Bear with me.
No, it maybe might have been a minor fracture or something. But that looked really. I felt quite sorry for him actually. They had gas and air and everything, and he was on the side of the pitch for about 10 minutes.
Well, you don't want first game of the season, is it?
No, it was only 10 minutes into the game. You know.
Yeah, 2 hours ago, Everton defender Ben Godfrey is expected to be out for 3 months after a successful surgery on a fractured leg.
Oh. Yeah, it's a shame. I wanted Arsenal to buy him actually at that point, but because he's a really good young centre back, but I quite like him actually. But yeah, it's a shame to see him on the side of the pitch. You know, I hope he gets
Steve
fit against him.
Yeah, Steve's Watson Watford by the looks of it because he's just gone off on what he's been positive about Ismail Assar. Apparently, scored a cracking goal. Apparently, fair play. Russell pops and goes, Tavares, who's an Arsenal player, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Really nice goal. Lovely finish. Really controlled finish.
Yeah.
Kept it low instead of putting it into Rose Ed like he was doing for us.
Like he did at Arsenal, yeah.
And then I think it was French Football Weekly or something like that. I don't know, some kind of French Twitter channel put a message out saying, who needs Saliba when you've got Tavares? And like with the highlights of the goal, I think slightly different player there, mate. Slightly different player. And do you know how? Do you actually know how loans work? You know that he's still actually our player.
Yeah.
But yeah,
wages, yeah.
I really, really hope that he has a great season. Well, you know, I've not hidden the fact that I really like Tavares. Ever, have I? I mean,
if he comes back anything like Saliba, you'll be well happy, won't you?
Yeah, not half.
So there we go.
Yeah, and Balogun. Good luck to him and all.
Ramsey scored
next time he comes back,
doesn't play for us anymore, but he scored.
Yeah, and Patino as well. He's gone on for a year, isn't he? So I mean,
the Blackpool fans love him already.
Yeah, 20 minutes and 20 minutes debut, and they're building a statue for him already up at Blackpool. Best player they've ever had.
Evan Ramsey, former Arsenal player, comes on, scores yesterday.
Yeah. Arsenal are going to win Ligue 1 this season. Yeah. I'm telling you.
They say form is temporary, class is permanent, don't they? So they've all had good starts in their careers, haven't they? So.
Yeah. They forget Stanley Matthews. It's all about Charlie Patino now for Blackpool.
Yeah. You just upset a few Blackpool fans.
No, that's what their reaction was like yesterday, wasn't it?
I saw the video where they obviously made up a chant thing and all that already. Oh,
great! That's great for the kid. He deserves it, doesn't he? He's obviously
definitely.
He's definitely got the talent, and he'll learn a lot playing in that division. That's for sure, about physicality and all of that, won't he? So,
100%.
Russ is asking, who's a defender who Everton sold to Aston Villa?
That fullback, Luca Digne, yeah. They're a really good player. Like they're sold into Aston Villa, like a direct rival for their league position as well.
So, there you go.
And then they sacked the manager
2 days later. Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? Really? Couldn't make it up. What's going on up there?
It is what it is, though. But with that, guys, I think we're best wrap things up. We're going for over an hour 40 minutes. It's getting dark. I can see for Steve as well.
Yeah, Steve's getting a bit nervous there, aren't you? You're not scared of the dark.
It's a nice temperature now, actually. It's a nice temperature now.
Yeah, the breeze is coming up now as well, thank God.
It's going to start howling. It's going to start howling at the moon in a minute, Steve.
Yeah, man.
That's why he's desperate to get off the bike.
That's a light bulb, that is, actually. But it could have been the sun. Strategically placed.
Yeah.
Oh god, all the moss will be around it.
You can't hear the waves crashing in on the beach, can you?
The hula girls standing just outside.
I'll keep it on move when they walk round.
Oh dear, but yeah, we'll wrap things up, guys. But Andrew, what have you got in your channel? We've got little bodies. You've got little bodies.
He's got to go out and get all the money for the that he's charging people for all the sunbeds outside there in a minute.
Yeah. I need that for my ticket. Yeah.
But yeah, I've got my show coming up. What day are we on today? Monday. Yes, so tomorrow 7:30. Episode 2 of the 4th season of From Dial Square to Where. So if everyone can come over and help support the channel, that'd be fantastic. And yeah, that's it for this week. And then next Sunday it'll be on your channel, won't it, for the question show, Q&A show, and then that'll be the last one for a week until possibly the following Sunday. We'll have to let you know on that, depending on what time we get back from holiday.
Yeah.
But we won't be doing a show the following Tuesday because I'll be away.
Yeah. So obviously I'll be on that tomorrow as well, and then on Wednesday I'm going to be doing a stream for episode 3 of the All or Nothing documentary. So come Thursday we can do something for Thursday in terms of 4, 5, and 6 that comes out. Friday do another podcast in terms of previewing Leicester City on Saturday. Then Saturday we've got the match watch along at 3 o'clock kickoff, so 2:30 we'll go live, and then match of the day later on that night, and then we're back, as I say, Sunday for me hosting this week, mine and Andrew's weekly Q&A show. So if you want to get your questions in for that, even now or whenever, send it to me or DM me or DM Andrew or get them in the comments box below, and we'll read them out during the show. And it doesn't have to be Arsenal related or football related. It could be about anything within reason. Obviously, it's a family show still. We've had a few fantasy fight questions. If you've got any more, throw them our way. But yeah, until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you want to give us a follow, I was actually on the screen here, Mr. Ars89 for myself, from Dial Square to Where for Andrew, at Steve 1886. And
at From Dial Square, not From Dial Square to Where, for those listening in audio format. Those listening in audio format.
Oh, okay, fair enough. In black and white.
The audio will be up in the next half hour. So
if listening to black and white audio on your wireless.
With the vowels.
On your CB radio, maybe.
Yeah, rubber duck.
Anyway, until then, guys, we'll see you soon. As always, up the Arsenal. Come on,
Up the Arsenal. Take care, boys. See you later.